Hey everyone. Um, Having some technical hiccups here. We've got Mercury in retrograde. This is December 2nd, and you're listening to Holly at AskHollyHall.com. And we are going to be talking about ancient history, how Graham Hancock, who does archaeological findings, found a famous ancient Egyptian artifact carved in the etchings or a style of artwork that it was a detailed zodiac wheel and zodiac constellation, and how it may be depicting events that are cited by Graham Hancock talking about sort of a catastrophic future. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about how Mercury retrograde is out of retrograde. It's moving direct, but it's not quite out yet. We've still got 9 days of what. I'm going to talk about what that 9 days of what is. We're going to talk about the full moon that's happening in the next couple of days. I touched on it yesterday. You can take a look at that live as well. But I do want to speak of the energy of you. If you're here live, then put in your birth date and let's talk about who are you? What are you? What are you all about? What is the meaning of you? If you don't know your destiny, if you don't know who you are, if you don't know what your mission is, if you don't know why you're one of 8+ billion people born on this planet in this day and age, there's more people on planet Earth than there's ever been everywhere. And hello. And we're live now. I'm doing this at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time every day. I'm not sure about the weekends, but definitely every day during the week. And I think it's important for us to understand who we are. Because if you don't, you're going to be lost. You're going to be depressed. You're going to be upset. You're not going to find good relationships. You're not going to be happy with your job. You're not going to be happy with yourself. And I just did a destiny reading. I've been doing a whole bunch since I was on Jimmy Church. I've got a lot of people looking for readings, and the destiny ones seem to be the popular ones right now. And that is, what is my north node? That's your destiny planet. And why am I here? And what am I going to do with this lifetime? And this particular client was wondering why she's so disorganized, why she can't focus and on organizing just her house, her office and whatnot. And it was basically, and I know that she's going to, she emailed me and said, oh my God, how do you know this about me? And that was that she had a lot of Aries and a lot of Sagittarius in her chart. And those are people that are ADD, ADHD. But you guys all know, if you know me, I cannot stand the word ADD and ADHD. It's like telling somebody who has a happy disposition or likes to tell jokes all the time and labeling them as a specific name, right? And we're going to take a look at Marigold at March 7th and June 21st. And I'm going to tell you guys what your destiny is in this lifetime. So I'm not saying that we can't diagnose people and really help them out and support them. We should live in a world where we don't need to do that. We just accept people for what they are. So ADD and ADHD to me is you're a multitasking, multi-focused, multi-talented, multi-amazing person. And you have to embrace that. Embrace that you jump from one idea to another, from one conversation to the next, from one hobby to the other, in 10 different places in your kitchen until you're finished. And you can't seem to hyper focus on just one thing. And there are people who are also labeled in neurodivergent who are hyper focused. They're OCD about hyper focusing on one thing until it's done, and you can't divert them until it's done. And that's a completely different personality trait. Right. So let's take a look at that. So let's talk about the full moon, and then we're going to talk about Graham Hancock's findings and how it's carved out in 50 BC during the late, I never can say this, polymatic period under the Roman influence. It was part of the ceiling in the chapel dedicated to Osiris. And he argued that there was a copy much earlier than that, possibly from 10,000 to 12,000 years ago, based on the processional shifts in the constellation that don't match the temple's era but aligns with Ice Age skies. It was controversially removed from Egypt in 1821 and now in Louvers, and now is in Louvers. So why did it disappear? So we're going to talk about the interpretation around and the link to catastrophic events. The full moon is around money, finances, and fear. And you guys are going to be focused on fear this week. It's all going to be about scarcity, lack, uncovering lies and deceptions around money and finances. And it's interesting because I had said yesterday that because it's in the second house in the United States, that there was going to be a sudden, unexpected financial uh, disclosure, right? That people are going to be questioning. And what pops up for me, where did I find it? It was on X, and it was stating that I'm going to have to look this up now. It was stating that the United States has just spent an enormous amount of money that they had not spent since the beginning of COVID. And I'm going to look that up. Maybe somebody there can look it up quickly. So to me, that's my financial prediction, sort of a dropping a bomb on the US. So I'm going to look this up. So the USA is spend an enormous funds in December of 2025. See if it'll pop up. That's kind of great. Yeah. So the US ran so the US ran a 1.7775 trillion deficit. No, it has to be something. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to look this up and, oh, there it is. There it is. Pentagon budget flips the script. 962 billion says efficiency. The numbers tell the story of Washington doesn't want to admit after decades of do more than less mantras. DOD just torched the efficiency playbook of 113.3 billion. There it is. In mandatory funding via reconciliation in 22.3% RDTE surge to 179 billion. Translation, we're buying deterrence, not spreadsheets. Okay, so I'm not a politician. I'm not big into politics. It looks like Canada did the same thing with Carney of a 2 trillion. Federal debt will hit 2 trillion. So this is what's going to launch. Look all over X. Just look at it. It's non-stop. And so that's the prediction for this week, is the shocking uncovering secret of what's really going on with the debt in Canada and the United States. So take a look at that. That's a recent prediction. But I want you to look at yourself personally. What are your fears? What are your wants? What are your desires around your financial freedom? And financial freedom doesn't mean that a bunch of money drops from the sky and lands in your lap. Financial freedom is letting go, of surrendering, of not needing more. Looking at your psychological makeup or the psychological makeup of your environment around you. That's what the full moon is going to do. It's going to hit in 3 days. This is the second. So it's going to hit in 2 days. And we're already feeling the energy right now. There's also resentment. There's a lot of looking back at the lack of love, like real, sustainable, solid, loyal love. And the resentment that there are certain chosen people that have not given you that. And I say chosen because you can have 5 people that are letting you down right now. And there's only going to be 2 that'll really, really bother you, that are going to just crawl under your skin. And there's resentment, retaliation. I'm going to get back at them. I'm going to show them. And so you chose them to be your portal to understand the depth of unconditional love. And unconditional love, you guys can all tell me you're unconditionally loving, and I'm going to call you out on it because you're not. And neither am I. and neither is probably any human being on this planet. We can exhibit unconditional love, and we can embrace it, and we can feel it every once in a while, but we're not living like that day by day. And I'm not saying there isn't. There probably is one or two people that are like that on this planet, but it's very, very, very. If you've had somebody die, the most loving relationship that you've ever had, and they just died tomorrow, or got abducted by aliens, or just decided they didn't like you anymore, you'd be devastated. That's conditional love. You would be devastated. It would hurt you. Of course it would. Of course it would, because that's what we're here to learn, is unconditional love. Until that person can harm you or hurt you or disappear or not be there for you or not be there physically, and you are so happy that you knew them and you embrace the love that you have for them that will never die, and you're happy that they've moved on to a different life with nothing, right? It doesn't mean you don't care. It doesn't mean you're cold or you're callous or you don't give a crap. It has nothing to do with that. But it's unconditional. Then you've developed unconditional love. Or you look at a blade of grass. This is my best saying. You look at a blade of grass and you just fall head over heels in love with that blade of grass. So I want to take a look at Marg, and I wanted to take a look at SC. So I can see there's not too many people watching live right now, but if you, I haven't even done this for a week yet, so it's going to take a while for the word to get out, and you guys get to know that I'm here at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific every single day. But if you're still here, let me know, and I'll take a look at your birth date and find out what you're all about, and hang in for 5 minutes. Okay, so let me know that you're still here and you want to have that done. So Hancock, in works like Fingerprints of God and The Magician of Gods, interpreted the Dendra zodiac not just as an astrological chart, but as a snapshot of the heavens, preserving knowledge from survivors of the Younger Dryas cataclysm 12,800 years ago. The comet impacts of Traudride meteor barrage we discussed earlier, the key point is in the view. So there's a planetary alignment, and it's a warning that that Orion and Sar near Horus and Falcon symbols, that's Taurus and Placidus cluster map, are rare configurations, and they only occur every 1,000 years, potentially signaling dangerous alignments when Earth crosses hazardous debris and streams like Traudrus. So I'm going to do some more research on that, and I'm going to bring that to you guys tomorrow. I got a really busy day tomorrow, so hopefully I can get some time. But this was 50 BC, and this is an astrological theoretical piece. It is literally, and I'll show the pictures for you too. It's literally carved out in stone, an astrological alignment. It's just like Regulus. Regulus astrological alignment as at 5 degrees Leo, and we're at 5 degrees Pluto return, and that is hitting the second house of the United States. And this has a lot to do with finances and materialism throughout the year. But we're also returning in, I'm saying it's August and September of 2026, but April of 2026 is when Chris Bledsoe talks about it. I don't want to discuss catastrophic events, but I do want to know what the future dates are on this that this hieroglyphic is, because it's only Hancock that thinks that it's like the Dendra zodiac, that it's a cosmic threat, that it's future dates, okay, that it's talking about. So we're going to take a look at that. It's not giving me a year. Oh, 2032. So 2032, the last one was 1975 in November. And then that was a nuclear winter blackout, apparently. And then there's 2032 and 2036. And 2032 is the Earth's closest approach since 1975, and this could yield multiple air bursts. So I'm not seeing anything there. So I'm going to take a look at it and talk to you guys about it tomorrow. Let's take a look at Morgan. We're going to talk about March 7th, and we're going to talk about where her destiny planet is. She's not showing me a time frame, and times can be really important as well. And you want to know what your destiny planet is, March 785, because if you don't, then you're not going to understand your mission and the reason that you're here. I'm a communicator. That's why I'm here, but I'm also here to learn, to realize that I don't know it all and that I need to learn, just like right there, right? Just like right there. This is blowing me away. Marg, you're blowing me away. I literally just did a destiny reading for someone, and I said, I'd never seen a chart like this in a long time, where the first house and the seventh house is bigger than all the rest of the houses. I wish I knew what time you were born. That would tell me where all the planets are in these houses. But regardless, throughout the day, you have the largest steps. That means you're learning all of your lessons through relationships. Wow, it's exactly the way hers was. And it's lined up the same too. I'm wondering if I got the same time of birth for you. I don't know my time. Triple Gemini. Don't talk to me about you being triple Gemini. Guys, I do sidereal astrology. You're not a Gemini anymore. You're born at 4:40 p.m. Thank you. Sidereal astrology is aligned up with astronomy. It's not lined up with what was 2,000 years ago. And let's take a look at it now. Okay, no, so now the first and second isn't so large, but it does have your moon on the cusp, and that means you've got the talent between being showing who you are, being brave, being courageous, finding that courage, like the lion on The Wizard of Oz. Did you like the lion on The Wizard of Oz? Because that's what you're here to do, to find your courage, to share your courage, to define your courage, and to show other people what it's like to shine the limelight on you, to shine the light on you. You're here to shine a light on you. Your mother and your dad didn't really help you well enough with it, specifically your mother. There was some issues around communication and conversations and even psychological issues you might have been dealing with your mother, some fears around you are to talk and not to be heard. You got massive abandonment issues. You're just dealing with it right now. And all of you're a healer. You're the highest of hierarchy of healers. I want you to look at the hero's journey and change that and call it the healer's journey. I have the healer's journey on Insight Timer. You can find it on an app on Insight Timer under Holly Hall. And I did a whole talk about the healer's journey. You need to learn about that because that's what you're here in this lifetime, is to pay homage to your ability to be a healer. And that's going to take courage and it's going to take bravery. It's not something, you're very humble. You're very behind the scenes person. You're quite different and unique than other people, and you don't feel like you fit in. This abandonment, which really you are here to continue to understand unconditional love, because nobody gave it to you. Like, I'm not saying nobody, but you weren't to receive unconditional love as a child, and specifically from mother. And when you didn't receive that love, you had to grow up and establish your own version of love. You might have used TV and books and movies to help you understand what real love was, but that wasn't it was not a good testimony to what real love was. So then you had to work your way through that, through difficult relationships that turned out not to be so romantic, not so fun, not so playful. And your North Node is going through the seventh house right now. So if you're in a relationship, you may be struggling with, I don't think that this is everything that I wanted it to be. And I'm going to be courageous and brave enough to heal it and to show that I'm a healer, to show my psychic ability, my intuitive ability, my empathic ability. You're very empathic. You walk into a room and you can read the room emotionally, and then immediately you just want to hightail yourself out of it. I told you you're a triple Gemini. Okay, sorry about that. Yes. And you're a perfectionist, so you do desire to for your improvement in your own personality, but you desire improvement with any female that's in your life. If you've got a daughter, if you've got a sister, if you've got a mother, you expect them to rise above and be better than who they are, to demand that of themselves, and you demand that of yourself. And you can do that in your home. You can be a bit of a perfectionist around your home as well. And there's nothing wrong with it because you know what? You're an amazing problem solver. And if you see you're in the process of a divorce, yeah. So, and that's taking bravery and courage. And you are born, I'm not remembering your, yeah, so you're fairly young, but this is taking a lot of bravery and courage. North Node going through your seventh house is saying, this relationship has forced me to be courageous and brave and to advocate for myself and to fight for myself and to be there for me because nobody else is going to do it. So I have to do it. And some people might think that's sad, but it's not. I mean, who's always going to be there for you? Who's always going to have your back? You. You're always there for you. No one else is there with you 24/7, sleeping and waking in your mind, in your heart, in your thoughts. Nobody has that access. Only you do. And so if you don't trust yourself, it's been empowering. See, that's exactly because your North Node, that's your destiny, is here to become empowered, to have bravery, to have courage. Hi, Sierra B. And so I want you to take the time to be grateful that that relationship is allowing you to show up for yourself. You didn't do that when you were a kid. You literally survived a very chaotic childhood, which made you kind of hide away and lick your wounds quite a bit. But now you're like, no, I'm not doing this as an adult. I did this as a kid. I'm done. I'm done with it. Does that make sense to you, Marg? I hope it does. We're going to look at triple Gemini and see what was telling me that is her North Node in Aries. Do you have a North Node in Aries? Because if you do, you're going through the same thing. You're going through the same need to be courageous and to be brave and have that Leo of a lion. And so we got June 21st. And let's take a look at the destiny planet here. And I want to make sure I got that right. Yeah. So the destiny planet of June 21st is also Gemini. Okay, that's the triple Gemini. You're rising. Oh, I don't have your time of birth put down there. So that doesn't matter because I'm just looking at your North Node. It stays the same. Your North Node is in Gemini. Yours is the same as me. So you're here to learn, gather information, and share that information that you've gathered as long as it's accurate, it's logical, it's practical, it's down to earth, and you display it in a very expressive way. Specifically, if you're really passionate about something. If you're not passionate about something, you can be pretty low key about it. You're patient. You make it tangible. You make it easy to understand. But if you're passionate about it, it means you're really excited or you're frustrated with it. It can come out bigger than life. When people get angry at you, you feel it bigger than life. It's really loud. Like, have you ever had this happen? Quite a bit, actually, it happens to you, where somebody's talking to you and you're like, why are you yelling at me? And they're like, I'm not yelling at you. We're like, why are you so excited or so mad? And they're like, no, I'm not. Because your filter is expressing it louder. It's magnifying it, right? It's like it's going through a loudspeaker. So you sound louder than you really are. Or you receive it that way, or you give it that way too. So you may have had people go, why are you yelling at me? And I'm like, I'm not yelling at you. You don't realize that you kind of ramped it up a bit when you're frustrated, agitated, or irritated. And it filters out as being louder than it really is, if that makes sense. Okay, great. Thank you so much. It's comforting to know I'm standing for myself without being afraid. That's right. The real constellation, I'm Sun Aries. Is that sidereal? Is that in real constellation? So if you're a Sun in Aries, ascendant Leo, which means you know the time of your birth, and your moon in Sagittarius, what is your north node? Because that's going to be your destiny. But a moon in Sagittarius, all these are fire, right? They're very complementary with each other. And with the sun, with the sun in Aries and the ascendant in Leo, that is putting, yeah, real one, what you do. Okay, thank you. That is putting Sagittarius in your fifth house, right? Moon is in your fifth house. Leo, and then Aries is close to your MC. Yeah. So what that means is, first of all, you need to be creative. You have to be creative, whether it's in a musical way, which is kind of or it's in a brave, courageous way, which is in a in a competitive way. You're an activist. If you're pissed off or angry at something, first of all, you intellectualize it. You're a musician. Okay, perfect. I'm glad you do it in a music way. Uh, you do like to you're very linguistic, which means listening to the words of music is extremely important to you. You won't play music if you're playing musics that have vocals behind it that you don't like the words to. It has to intellectually be stimulating for you. It can't be anything negative, and it has to be entertaining and fun and playful. That's really what it comes down to. I like entertaining, I like fun, I like being playful, but I don't want to be in the party. I want to be the party. That is somebody with a ascendant in Leo, and you like your long hair for sure. And although I'm sure when your sun in Aries was hit, you probably chopped your hair off short at one point. Yes, mostly funny. You're that person who could get up and tell jokes in between your music, but there's a little bit of a sarcastic sense of humor to it, so not everybody gets it, right? And you might even talk about the music that you've written or that you're playing and how it's associating to real life and to reality. So that's what I like about you. And this is a great combination because you're comfortable with who you are. What you see is what you get. Very sarcastic. Yeah. What you see is what you get. But sarcasm is hidden truth, right? It's the truth, but said in a way that's kind of disguised. So, for instance, a great word for sarcasm is if you walk into a room with a red dress and I'm like, you're going to wear that red dress? And you're like, "Why? What's wrong with it?" "Oh, nothing. Nothing's wrong with it." Because I can see how upset you are. There's a little sarcasm in there, and the tone in your voice, and the question that you asked, right? That the sarcasm can be a lot more wittier than that, where you might walk into a room and there's clothes everywhere and you're like, "Oh, is this what we do? This is where we put our clothes now," right? We put our clothes on the floor. Like we don't need closets anymore. What are closets for? Just empty space where I can just open it up and look, my empty closet because everything's all over the floor. So that's what we do now. We put clothes on the floor. Great. Okay. Very intelligent. Thank you. Like that's like an excessive sarcasm. And if you're really witty and you're well versed, it could go even further than that. And it can be considered comical for some people, and it can be considered um, almost insulting, depending on what kind of mood you're in. But you've got 3 triple fire, so what you see is what you get. That's what I like about you, and you get over it fast. You do like drama. I hope you recognize that the drama that you've had in your life, there's a part of you that enjoys it. Like, get out the popcorn. You'll probably say, "I hate drama," because there's so much in your life, but you gravitate towards it at the same time if you're not a part of it. There's a very playful way that you present yourself too. So, actually, CRB, now I know you're a musician. I looked you up after because I was like, "CRB band official," and after the last time you were in, I clicked on it, and I think your hair is a little on the longish side too, a little bit like this, uh, but your music is crazy. Yeah, it's very, It's very dramatic, your music, very loud, and you love that part. It exerts that adrenaline, right? It's an adrenaline boost. Probably like your bass as well, that bass music that really goes into the body, into the adrenaline area. Now, what we want to take a look at is the the planets in it's probably hard on you, CRB, with all of this Leo Aries. All this Scorpio energy is going to be hard on you. There's some resentment, some anger, some frustration. You might be secretly planning your attack on someone in a very gentle way. They won't see it coming, but they'll know. And it could be very small. Could be very small. I'm a basis. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you weren't the one singing when I went to the CRB official flight. Okay, I'm batting 1,000 now, aren't I? Great. And this CRB, this is somebody who knows himself. He knows that bass, everything that I mentioned, he is. I mentioned a musician, he's a musician. I mentioned the bass because he loves that feeling, that adrenaline rush that bass can give us. Uh, and he's done all of that in his life, so he knows who he is. And this is somebody who's most likely really enjoying his life, whether he's making 100,000 a year or 10,000 a year. He doesn't give a crap. I love my life. This is fun. I'm going to keep doing it. I don't care if it doesn't bring in a steady paycheck. But I'm going to give you guys a good. Sometimes that's what a hard life does. I had a hard life. I just don't care. I do what I want to do. As long as you're not harming anyone or hurting anyone on purpose, then that's freedom. CRB, that is freedom. Doing what I want, how I want, when I want, the way I want. That's freedom, not getting a bunch of money that falls from the sky. You guys think that's freedom, then you're barking up the wrong tree. I was just going to say something about the future, right? And now I lost track. I've been doing that today. I was going to talk about, so live. So I predicted this about maybe 3 or 4 months ago. Freelancer all my life. Yeah, good for you. The future of entertainment, movies, videos, commercials, podcasting even. It's going to become, you're not going to know what's real and what's not real. Like if you see Joe Rogan interviewing somebody you would never think he would ever interviewing, saying things you never thought that they would say, and it's not coming from the actual Joe Rogan website, like channel on YouTube, it's not him. It looks so real. Everything looks so real. So people are going to start craving real, and they're going to go to conferences and expos and music events, large events with musicians and speakers and talkers and podcasters on stage. They're going to go to live Broadway shows and live shows where real people are acting and real people are making comedy. And this is really going to be a turn of events because for all of those people, most of those are starving artists. It's really hard to break in to the field where you become so popular on TV and radio and people are begging for you to come on to their talk show and whatnot, and then you can start rolling in the dough. But that's like 1% of the people, if that. But all of a sudden, all of you are going to be in demand. Everyone's going to want to see everything live. It might take 3 years, 2 or 3 years for this to happen, but they're going to want real, tangible, not fake. Even news, if somebody gets up and talks about the news and talks about what's happening, world events, they're going to want to see you do it live, not on this, but on live in real person, real time, locally even. So local people, you don't have to travel for miles to see your favorite person live because we're going to even want to see local people, anything live. We're just going to be hungry for it. Now, of course, if you know, like when you come to my channel and I'm doing a live, you're going to know it's me, right? So obviously that all the live, and that's why right now, and there's going to be an audience based in it too for the like Joe Rogan will start doing live audience, right? There's going to be an audience and he's going to do it live, and then it'll possibly go up for recording or not. Their guests are going to have to know that you're live. So if you say something, like we can cut it and rebroadcast it and edit it, but right then and there, you're live. And that's people are going to be hungry for it. And it's going to be very, very popular. You watch, mark my word, 2 or 3 years from now. And then that's when a lot of us are going to be gypsies too. We're already gypsies. We are, but they're going to be gypsies. So what do you think? I'd like you to put in the comments. What do you think about live? Would you go out of your way locally or, within an hour's distance to see a podcaster live, to see a television show live, to see a movie live? Like some of the cinematography and the live not live, the technology, like you guys are still gonna be hook, line, and sinker. I mean, we've been doing that for decades, right? You're not gonna have a problem watching a dragon get slayed by your hero, but instead of being the real the real actor, it'll be an actor that looks like them. It won't be the real person. So you're gonna have to get used to that, the fact that there's gonna be a lot more tech involved. And yeah, Hollywood has already tried to protest, and it's not gonna work because it's what's gonna happen. But don't let go of your humanness. We have superpowers. And don't be dependent on ChatGPT and on Grok, because I have already tested it and they're wrong a lot. Like when it comes to astrology, they're not gonna be able to remote view. They're not gonna be able to connect to source like I can. They're not gonna be able to de-align and give you an astrological reading. And if you know nothing about astrology, you might think they are, and they're gonna make it all pretty. So it looks like they are, but they're not. So far, it doesn't have it nailed. It keeps mixing up Western with sidereal, and I don't know, it just got it all wrong. So the future is live, and you know what's really cool about that? It's going to connect us. It's going to make us come together as communities because we're going to see the same people over and over again because we're all the same people. So all of the nerds that would go to Comic-Con and all of these events, but now they're going to connect more. There's going to be much more of them. You think that they were like nerdy and weirdos, but no, we're all going to be like that. Even if you're a philosopher, no, okay. Let's say you're an AI tech engineer. You're going to go to live events where people are going to be talking about the future of AI tech engineering, and you're going to want that. And it's going to be palatable, and it will be mainstream, and it'll be down to earth, and it'll be affordable, if not free, because money is going to be abolished in the next 5 years as well. Money's not going to be as important. Is that good, bad, right, or wrong? We'll have to see how that one gets played out. I think in the long run, it won't be bad at all. Our financial future, there was a day for most of our existence where we didn't rely on money or gold or coins. It was a few thousand years ago, but we did go millions of years. I mean, they discovered a mummy Lucy. I don't know if it's Lucy, but it was in Turkey, I believe it was, or telepith. I never can say it right. But anyways, they call it Lucy, and they're saying it's like 6 million years old. And if you go back to your history, they're saying we're only 16,000 BC. That's as far back as humans goes. And before that, then we were Neanderthals, and then we were monkeys. No, they've got evidence that we are millions of years old, millions. And therefore, we did live a long time without a monetary system. So it's not out of reach to understand that our future is without a monetary system. But it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be hard to get there. What do you guys think of it in the comments? What do you think about not having a monetary system? Are you okay with that? We got Pluto return in Capricorn in the second house of the United States. And in Canada, it's also in a labor intensive house. And this means that we're not sure. We're not sure exactly when they sign the Declaration of uh, uh, free speech or whatnot. So I'm stumbling with my words today. This is terrible. It would be a big change and a big mindset change. Yeah, absolutely. But we're not sure the exact time. The Pluto return in Capricorn means that there is an overthrow of control. Hey, Randy. Randy, we're just wrapping up. There's an overthrow of control. There's a change in control. There's a diversity of control. And, Joe Rogan was interviewed by Jess Michaels. Take a look. You got to find it. It's such a good interview. Like, I think I'm going to listen to it again. There's so much good stuff in it. And he started talking, and, he's just making stuff up as he went along, but I don't think he's too far off. And the fact that, all of these elites have bunkers, they plan on living in the earth. There is the idea that there are aliens that live under the water and live under the earth right now. They've like factually have found them and discovered them, and people are talking about it. Not in mainstream media, so don't look there. And he goes, "What if that's our future selves? The break off civilization in the future that went down there to live, and then humans rebuilt themselves again, and now we're in the same cycle. We're in another cycle doing the same thing again, and there's going to be another break off soon." I don't think he's too far off. I was like, yeah, I could see that. You have in Siberia 7,500 old, really great civilization called the Inca. Oh, that's interesting. I like that. Siberia, 75, really great. So you're saying that there's a civilization right now that lives in Siberia that is 7,500 years old that still live now called the Inca. There's one in, yeah, thanks. There's one in the Amazon, a tribe in the Amazon, and there's one off of Greenland, on an island off of Greenland, between Greenland and Russia. Look at the map, it's in there. And they're in ancient civilization, they're not modernized. And then there's the Hopi. And the Hopi, I think now they allowed one human. The Hopis allowed one human. They have their own language. You know what's really cool about their language? Not Siberia. Oh, Serbia. I'm sorry. In Serbia, yeah. See, I told you, like my linguistics are so off today. It's a full moon, and the Mercury retrograde is not over yet. It's not over till December 9th. It's still in its shadow, so we can still stumble intellectually. Um, yeah, Europe, Serbia. I'm going to look that one up. So the Hopi have their own language where they don't have any past. There's not one word in the Hopi language that talks about the past. They won't talk about, did you see the sunrise this morning? They talk about only the now, only the now. Oh, you're gonna put the link. Okay, thank you. They only talk about the now, present tense. They won't say, look at the waves. They'll say, look at the waving, because they see it as cyclical. Anyways, I found that quite fascinating. And then we look at elephants. I don't see a link, but hopefully I'll see it later. There was I can't remember his name. That's what I'm terrible at. I get all the stories and I forget all the data. But you can look it up, a gentleman who rescued elephants, an enormous tribe of elephants. And that after he rescued them and he set them free and they were living in the wild again, and this took many, many, many years, they mourned his loss when he left. He was no longer needed there. He did his job. They actually mourned his loss. And he lived something ridiculous, like 100,000 miles away. I'm not kidding. Like Okay, 100,000, that does sound ridiculous, doesn't it? But, like, maybe it took them days and days to get there. He died, and the elephants walked for days and days, and they found where he was, and they circled his location, and they honored him. Then they left, and the next year, and the next year after that, and the next year after that, they did the same thing on the anniversaries. How do they know? They don't read calendars. How do they know where he is? How do they know that he died? And how do they know to go back over and over again? This is fact. This is telepathy. AI cannot do that. We have the ability to do that. Watch the telepathy tapes. I bug everybody to do that. Share your referral link. Okay. So go to, I see. Go to askhollyhall.com. Even if you just do a mini reading, it's $33. I'm not soliciting myself. Money back guarantee. If you don't like the reading, give me my money back. I will. I honor my work. You know what? I'm going to put that on my website. I think it's going to be hard when I do like a 1 hour reading because like I've spent an hour but $33. If you don't like the reading, I'll give you your money. And I have twice. I had a client book 2 sessions and then she booked a package of 10. She was spicy. She was spicy. She was tough. When she booked the package of 10, I was like, oh, I don't want to work with you because she was so just really strong, masculine. She was top tier of like Mary Kay, had the pink car and everything. Wasn't Mary Kay, but it was something like that. Right? This multi-level company. She was way up there. And I really didn't want to work with her because she was just really inside the box. And it was all about success and all about money and all about financing and all about how am I going to deal with this person and that person. And they're jerks and they don't know how to work. And there's something wrong with them. And I'm like, that's not my energy. So anyways, she did her 3rd session and something didn't come true or something. I don't know what it was. Something she didn't like that I said. So she got pissed off and she's like, I want my money back. I'm like, fine. I'm not giving you your money back for the readings that I did, but I'll give you your chunk of money back that you just paid for 10 readings. That was fine. And then there was another one. I've been doing this for 10 years. So there was one other one and they said, I don't know, you got the wrong date or what? They were nice about it, but there's nothing here that's accurate at all. And I said, okay, here's your money back. But I will tell you, this is my favorite story. I did a party and this was a long time ago when I was like just fresh. I was just newbie at it. And I was in the back room and they were having like an all day party and I was backyard party and they would come in and get readings done. And this one girl came in and I saw that her husband there was some deception or some lies going on in her marriage. And it was just happening now. And I was like, is your husband, you and your husband having some issues around lies or deception or anything like that? She's like, nope, there's nothing wrong. And I said, yes, no infidelity, nothing like that. She goes, nope, everything's fine. I don't know what you're talking about. That's not me. And I was like, so I went down a few other things, like maybe, nope. And I said, okay, here's your money back. And then later, before I was leaving, this girl comes out to me and she goes, did you read for Sarah? And I'm like, yeah. I go, but I gave her money back. She goes, oh, I was hoping that you would pick up on her husband because he's cheating on her and she knows he's cheating on her, but she won't do anything about it. I said, I did, but she denied it and there's nothing I can do. So yeah, give your money back. I'm all good with that. Okay, everyone, thanks for listening and I'll see you same place, same station here tomorrow after I finish my long day of working with my clients. And sign up for my newsletter, Substack. I got a Wednesday. It's only for December, Wednesday special. That's why I don't work on Wednesdays, but I am for December. I got this steal of a deal, but you can only get it if you sign up to my newsletter. And you have to take a look within the Substack. You'll see it right there. It'll be like December, pay what you want kind of deal. And sign up for Wednesday one. I don't think I'm going to do this again for a long time. So take advantage of it. Namaste.